Right, you're watching Breakfast Central on News Central. Now, the music industry over time seems to be male dominated, but there are questions surrounding why men thrive in the industry compared to their female counterparts. Now, music being a male dominated industry has in fact only hindered the growth for this business as well as the success of women in the industry. Now, despite megastars like Beyonce, Miriam Makeba, Taylor Swift, Tiwa Savage, Madonna, Angelique Kidjo, and so on, so many of them, women in the industry still find it difficult to climb the ladder of success, and that has caused women artists to quit, if not almost. Now, what needs to be done to create an enabling environment for women to thrive in the music industry? Well, our guest this morning is Chioma Onuchukwu, I beg your pardon, a music marketing executive, and has worked with the who is who in the music and the African music scene. Now, she's the head of TuneCore West and East Africa. Welcome to Breakfast Central, Chioma.
Thank
so
you.
Good to have you here.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, beautiful. Now, looking at women, I mean, especially when it comes to the music industry, the music space, it looks like women find it quite difficult. In fact, certain statistics that we've seen, quite difficult to get statistics of Africa, but in over the overseas in America now, it says that 22.1% of the very popular artists are females. Why does it feel or does it look as if we have women who are struggling to be seen and heard properly in that industry?
I mean, I'll say 100% is just been this lack of support when it comes to women in particular. I know with us at TuneCore, we partnered with like the IFPI reports to do a research on this. And some of the things that we found that came up, of course, is the issue of, of course, sexual harassments as well. There is, of course, for some others, it's just always been more focused on like the male gender. And of course, looking at us as like a more weaker gender for some odd reason seems to be like an issue. So I'll say it boils mainly around just the issue around support and that sexual harassment. So it ends up scaring a lot of women away, as much as they might be very talented, they end up getting discouraged that, their music isn't being looked at, but rather, okay, what other way can they be taken advantage of, so to say. So it just kind of scares a lot of people away. Yeah, so there's just that lack of support, and I'll say protection as well. When it comes to women in the industry, that's something I'll say we've seen quite a bit. Yeah.
Now, I know you've worked with the likes of Yemi Alade, you've also worked with the likes of Davido and so many other artists, Nigerian artists, and the ones in diaspora as well. But what do you think? What is it that you guys do that women are not actually doing or getting right when it comes to their songs being put out there and when it comes to managing their songs in general?
Yeah, I'll say not just to focus on women per se, but I'll say in a place like Nigeria and maybe say Africa as a whole, or artists all over the world, there is this desire to be with a label. There's nothing wrong with being with a label. I mean, a lot of people aren't able to fund their music, but the thing is, in this day and age, and of course with the advancement of technology, there is the opportunity for you to be independent and you're able to actually, get your music out there.
Is that really possible?
Yes, that's very possible. So you have companies that I work for now that we are really just a technology company offering artists some form of value, which is distribution. So that's one aspect of you being an artist. There's the creation side, then of course the distribution and the promotion. So we come in to cater to you when it comes to the distribution side. So what that means is basically delivering your music to stores, so Spotify, Boomplay, all over the world.
Online.
Yeah. Online, yes, this is online. So that's an area that we cater to because it wasn't something that was very easy to do in the past. Typically, you have to have a label, but now you don't necessarily, have to have a label. You can work with a distributor.
Okay, yeah. Lisa, did you just hear that? I mean, she's talking about what can make the women stand out or even come out better and perform better in terms of music. And how they can have a face or a voice in the music industry. Okay, so before we get back to Lisa, there seems to be this rift between the female artists amongst themselves. Mm-hmm. I mean, there seems to be this kind of competition, and some believe that it has really affected their growth. Do you actually share in this same sentiment?
I would say you allow what affects you. That's the best way to put it. But it's not just something you see in African music. It's predominant in the US, especially when it comes to rap music. You see Nicki being pitched with Cardi or Megan Thee Stallion.
At some point we all thought it was staged. Is this staged or is this for real?
So I think it could be a combination of both. a lot of times it might not be something that is good between both parties, but for some reason they think that healthy competition is good for business, so to say, sometimes. But then for some odd reason, it's not always, let's say, the management that does that. It could also be the fans who end up creating that, rift.
I mean, so you just took the words out of my mouth, because sometimes these fans take it too far.
Yes.
Now let's talk about marital status for the females in the industry. There are certain rumors that says that when you're married, I mean, if you got into the industry as a single lady, the moment you get married, certain things change for the negative. I mean, you lose certain fans. You probably, I mean, you might not get some endorsement deals anymore. How true is that, judging that you have worked with quite a number of these artists in recent past?
I won't lie that it's something that was like an issue. I don't think it's that much of a big deal now, because now there's been a bit of a paradigm shift going on. So I won't say it's that intense in terms of, oh, you came in single, or maybe you were married or older. I mean, we have artists that, for instance, with age, female artists that have, really been successful, even though they came in towards their late, 20s, for instance. There's a few artists, I don't want to call names, so it doesn't sound like I'm throwing things. But I think there is a bit of a change that is gradually happening in terms of that. Now you find female musicians that are even pregnant that are shooting music videos. Whoa. So I think it's just a case of a paradigm shift that needs to happen, particularly for the women, which I think is quite unfortunate and unfair. But there is that change. At least I can say that I've seen that shift happening, where those opportunities are still given, because this is part of life. So it is part of life. So, yeah. I
mean, I know, Olisa, we've heard so many stories. I mean, we've seen so many rifts and fights between female artists, and we as the fans we're almost more carried away than the people involved, Olisa. What do you think?
Yeah, it does bring a bit of drama, right? Just adding twists and turns into it. I really try to always avoid all of that, because I always believe in women support women in the industry. But Chioma, as a music marketing executive yourself, you've witnessed scenes in both East and West Africa. I really want to know, because you see that there's an African theme behind promoting the female artists in Africa, even in Nigeria. Because you look at the US, you look at, Diana Ross, Whitney Houston, Dollar Parton. There's a big culture and history about women being supported and women, thriving, and women leading the industry, as it were. Unlike Africa here, where in Nigeria, where it's just the men. Do you think it's a cultural thing?
It could be a cultural thing. I mean, aside from, the issues in the music industry, we've seen it in other industries as well, where men are given more opportunities than women are. But now with, for instance, with the banks, we've seen how many new female, MDs that have been hired. There's a shift going on, and I'm also seeing that shift gradually sipping into, the music industry as well. So I would say, yes, culture could be an issue as well, but there is a change, I'll say, that is happening now. So it's a welcome change. It is
a welcome change. Yeah. I mean, and with what you're doing, it's a good thing, because a lot of people, especially female artists who have given up, can actually come out and believe that there are people who have the interest at heart. What advice can you give an upcoming artist, a female upcoming artist, at this point in time, especially when they're at the brink of their career, where they're almost giving up?
I'll say don't give up, keep pushing. If you know you have the talent and you have good music, keep pushing forward. If you can build yourself a supportive team, so get you people that you can trust, people that can have your back, and then, just make sure you get your music out there, distribute your music, get it where you need to do the marketing that you need to do, and push ahead.
Right. All right. Thank you so much for coming, Chioma Onochukwu, a music marketing executive. Thank you for coming on our program once again.
Thank you very much.
We wish you the very best with your artists.
Thank you very much.